Welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you about data types. It's a good idea to get some of these general concepts under your belt. That way, when you write the code, everything will make more sense. So in our next few lessons, that's what I'm going to be covering. A good place to start is with data types. Visual Basic can automatically manage details involving data types, which isn't the case with many other programming languages. Data types refer to how data types are stored in your computer. They can be integers, real numbers, strings, and many other data types. In this tutorial, I'll take a look at some of the principal data types. Visual Basic lets you declare your variables as particular data types. It's not necessary, but it is a good idea. When you do not declare your data variables, the execution of your script can be slower, and the usage of memory in your computer can be less efficient. It's also a good idea to declare the data type of your variable to help make your code easier to understand. However, execution speed and memory efficiency may not be such a big deal in your case, since chances are you won't be writing any big complex programs. Another reason to declare your variable's data type is to let Visual Basic perform extra error checks on your behalf. It's not so relevant when working with the ilogic rule editor because ilogic doesn't give you many debugging tools. But it becomes more relevant when your experience grows and you start working with VBA or Visual Basic for applications, or maybe with such a tool as Visual Studio. So remember, data types refer to how data is stored in your computer. Some of the examples I'd suggested were integers. Those can be negative or positive numbers. Real numbers. Those are basically positive numbers. Strings, and that would be, for example, text. Each data type stores as a certain number of computer bits. The more complex the value range is, the larger storage will be required. In other words, more bits and more of your memory. The first data type is called a byte. The number of bytes used is 1 byte, and 1 byte equals 8 bits. The byte data type has a value range from 0 up to 255. This data type is useful for containing binary data. Next is the Boolean data type. It stores as 2 bytes, or 16 bits. The value can be true or false. Both values are what's called reserved words in Visual Basic. In other words, the words true or false can't be used for any other purpose. You're also able to convert one data type to another. So for example, if you're going to convert numeric data to Boolean data, the value 0 will be false, and all other values will be true. When Boolean values are converted to another data type, false will be 0, and true will become -1. If you're new to programming, this might seem very confusing, but don't worry and don't let that stop you. This is all going to make sense as you get more practice writing some script. Let's take a look at another common data type. It's the integer data type. It stores in 4 bytes, and that's 32 bits. As you can see, the value range is significantly larger. The value range is from approximately -2.147 billion to positive 2.147 billion. Next is the long data type. It stores in 8 bytes, or 64 bits. It holds a value range of -9.2 to the power of 18 to positive 9.2 to the power of 18. So a lot more than the integer data type. Next is the single data type. This is 4 bytes in size. The value range is from minus 3.42 to the power of 38 to 3.42 to the power of 38. The single data type is known as a floating point number. This means that the decimal point isn't fixed but actually floats. The advantage of floating point representation over what's called fixed point representation is that it lets you support a larger range of values with a greater degree of accuracy. So take a look at the numbers I've just pasted in here. On the left, you see examples of floating point numbers, 1000.0 and 0.0001. As you can see, the fixed point representation, in order to represent the same value with the same degree of accuracy, requires a much greater number of digits in the string. So this isn't a big deal for us, but for the way a computer works, this is a big deal. And I'll just give you a moment to digest that. Okay, the next data type is called a double. It stores in 8 bytes or 64 bits. The value range is from approximately minus 1.78 to the power of 308 to 1.8 to the power of 308, so that's a lot of numbers. The double is basically a larger version of the single, and it's also a floating point number. Next, we've got the double for equals data type. This uses 8 bytes. And this happens to be a custom ilogic data type. It's something between a single and a double. When it's used in calculations and to store values, it acts as a double. When it's used to compare values, it acts as a single. There's many more commonly used data types: date, object, string, currency, etc. Let's take a look at a few more of these. The date data type uses 8 bytes. It's used to store dates ranging from January 1st, the year 1, to December 1st, the year 9999. The time range can be anywhere from 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, up to 23, 59, 59, right down to the hundredth of a nanosecond. Let's take a look at the object data type next. It stores as 4 bytes. And this data type stores an object reference, like a linked document object. It can also store reference to any other data type: Boolean data, integer data, long data, and so on. The next data type we saw used in my previous tutorial. It's called a string. It uses 10 bytes or 80 bits plus the string length. The string data type can hold up to 2 billion Unicode characters. The last data type we'll talk about in this tutorial is the currency data type. It uses 8 bytes, and it is represented by a pretty big range of numbers. Its value ranges from approximately minus 900 trillion to 900 trillion. You're able to use 15 digits to the left of the decimal point and 4 digits to the right of the decimal point. This data type is, of course, useful for representing currency and also for fixed point calculations. There are many more data types, and in this tutorial we've just looked briefly at a few of the more commonly used ones. When you can, it's a good idea to use a data type which has a smaller number of bytes. That's because, from Visual Basic's point of view, the execution speed is a matter of how many bytes Visual Basic has at its disposal. So the fewer bytes that the data itself takes, the greater number of bytes available to the program for manipulating data. In our next few lessons, I'm going to talk more about the rudimentary Visual Basic concepts, such as literals, variables, and operators, and then we'll start doing some of the fun stuff like trying out different functions. This concludes our tutorial about data types.